Hello friends, welcome to this chapter for class 11th, The Address by Marga Minko. It is a chapter which has autobiographical touch, and some of the usually analysts what they say that this chapter is about Holocaust, which this family of the writer has gone through, and its impact, and the main protagonist of this chapter is writer herself. So it story narrates how a daughter goes to her native place in Holland in search of her mother's belongings after war. I'll tell you something about the we can say background of this very chapter, about the background of Nazism in Germany. When Hitler came to power, it was Nazism, and these Nazis, they were totally against the Jewish people. More than 30,000 Jews were killed at that very time, and it was done by the police known as Gestapo, which was Hitler's police. And usually most of the Jews, what they did as the Nazis came into power in Germany, they fled towards Holland. But soon as Holland was overtaken, these people, these Jews, faced a lot. So how this the family of this writer faced being a Jew, as it is said that belonged to a Jewish family. So how they felt, and what happened to her as she came back, because she was the lone survivor of her family after the Holocaust. As she came back, and what was the thing that protagonist gives a cold reception at the address where she goes, where she wants to take the belongings of her mother back, which was given, the address which was given to her by her mother. She rang the bell. It was house number 46, Marconi Street. A woman opened and kept staring for a long period of time, and this woman does not show any sign of recognition that she has recognized, as she was the acquaintance of mother of writer, Mrs. Darling, but she didn't give any sign of recognition. And wearing her mother's green knitted cardigan, as she was using the belongings of her mother, and she was wearing that very cardigan, and this narrator wanted to talk to her about her mother, about her family, but the woman cautiously closed the door and stopped and just went inside her house. The narrator stopped for a time and then left. It was the first meeting between these people after war, as she went over there to know. So memories of narrators' bygone days came to light. Now those ill memories of the Holocaust came to the memory of this very writer, and what she did, she came to know that she remembered this very thing, that Mrs. Darling was an old acquaintance of narrator's mother, a companion, or we can say, or a fellow of mothers, narrator's mother, or we can say mother of the protagonist, or we can say the writer or the narrator. So address of this very lady was given by mother of narrator. She said that when you will go back to Holland, you should go to house number 46 Marconi Street and check over there for my belongings. As you will see that this lady is not satisfied, our narrator is not satisfied with the first visit. She goes again because she has a desire to see the belongings of her mother, because she has only those things left. Look, these things which are very precious to us are sometimes the things of those persons who are gone away from us. We usually keep those things very close to our heart, and we just take a lot of care of those things. So this narrator, she wants to take care of belongings of her mother, so that's why she is again going to this very place. She goes again. This was the concluding part of the first one, but as concluding part describes second visit, the woman not at home, Mrs. Darling is not there at home. So there is a girl of 15 years old who opens the door for the narrator. Narrator expresses a wish to wait for Mrs. Darling, and this little girl accompanies her to the passage towards living room. As this they make a passage towards this room, and narrator is made to sit by this little girl in the living room, and she goes inside, this little girl. As narrator felt horrified being in a room she knew and did not know. This phrase, she knew but did not know. She was in a place which she does not know, but she was with familiar things around her. These were all the belongings of her family. Familiar things around her were the cups, the cupboards, everything was around her. Strange atmosphere. She felt as if it was a kind of an atmosphere where she was feeling suffocated. So she don't have courage anymore to face this atmosphere. Now, no longer she does not have any longer any desire to take all these things back. So she walked out of the house and resolved to forget the address and move on in his life. So now, as it is human aspect being discussed over here of greed, that this Mrs. Darling, she didn't recognize the owner of these things and the daughter of the mother, and kept all these things for her. As a narrator, she now resolved, she just took it to her mind that no, I don't have to keep on just sticking to my past. I have to move on, and she goes away and just resolves this very thing, that forgetting is most important thing which I need right now, because if I'll keep on thinking about these things and I'll wage a war against this lady, definitely I'm going to land in some kind of problems. Now, if we analyze this very chapter, the address narrates a story of a lady, possibly the author herself, as I told you, who after losing her entire family in the Holocaust returns to the address to collect family possession. Author's mother had left with Mrs. Darling, a non-Jewish lady, before leaving homeland. Look what happened in this very chapter. As this family just went away from their home, and they just left because they were Jew, and they kept this whole thing, their material, with a non-Jewish lady who might be a Christian, and because she was not having any problem, and because Gestapo police or these Nazis, they were not against Christians, so they were themselves Christians. So they kept all the things with this very lady, and they went away. But when she came back, she was not able to get the things. The story throws light on the multitude of human emotions, betrayal on behalf of Mrs. Darling. Look how human emotions change. If I'm a friend of somebody, I should be friend at the time of adverse situations as well. If I an acquaintance of anybody, if I'm a colleague of anybody, I should help him in adverse positions as well, adverse situations as well. I should not just get away with that. Author, overpowered by turmoil and sadness after Mrs. Darling had not recognized her. Now, author was overpowered because she wanted to go again over there, visit again, because there was an emotional turmoil going on. Because when she went over there, she got an emotional setback, because the lady should have just recognized her, and when she didn't recognize her, this gave a kind of a setback to the emotions of our narrator. So this not recognized turned her emotions into a sad one. It's indeed an inspiring story which sheds an inadequate amount of light on importance of letting things go. So this is the very important thing in life, that we sometimes need to let the things go away, because if we stick to those things, definitely will not be able to prosper in our life, definitely will not be able to develop in our lives. So we'll not be able to be at par in our life. So we need to let the things go, so that we will just give a new start to our life. It further shows that past and future are illusions, and we have with us is present. This is the most important thing, that what we can do is right now, is present. What we can't have control on is past and future. Past has gone, you don't have control to change it. Future, it will come, but what you can do is, what action you can do is in present, and that action will matter about your future as well. So past and illusion, you can't live in past and future, but you can live in present, where you can work and just make your future as well. War brings destruction, pain, and loss of lives, which impact humans in various ways. This is the message which is being given in the chapter. That what war does, it destroys human life. It gives us pains. It gives us memories which are very sad memories and painful memories, and it has a great impact on human life. You might have seen right now, till now, the impact of this Hiroshima bombing. There are still people who are just born with disability. So this has a long-lasting impact on human life. We need to have courage to leave our past behind and work for present. This is again important thing, that we should have that courage inside, that we should just leave our past. What happened has happened. We can't control that very thing. But what will happen, or what is going to happen, is in our hands. That if we work in present, definitely we are going to mark our future in golden words. If we stick to our past, it will destroy us with pain and disheartening. As I again and again told this very thing, that we don't have to stick to our past, because it will not provide anything which is better for future or present. But what you have to do, we don't have to just throw away our past as well. We have to take experience from our past and just get away with the present to make our future. That was all in this video. Hope you liked it. Thank you very much.